1, 2, 3, now. Ooh, that's good. You do got that fishing affliction. That's good. Woo! Boy, don't get no better that first thing in the morning. Woo!
How big is this fish? How big is that?
Oh, God, what a monster. An absolute monster. Woo! Man, that fires me up. You know what?
Big dog, it's time to wet a line, because it's Fishin' Affliction time for those who've got it bad. Well, mom and dad's grabbed the kids, it's time for the fishing show. Me and the big dog's gonna go catch them down at the fishing hole. Well, you better stick around, cause you don't know what you're missing. Yeah, me and the big dog's got that fishing affliction. Grab your hats, grab your baits, don't forget your poles. We're gonna fire up that old Ranger boat and head to the fishing hole. We're gonna try to catch a biggin', yeah, that's what we're wishing. Cause me and the big dog's got that fishing affliction. Yeah, me and the big dog's got that fishing affliction. Yeah. Yeah, and we've got it bad.
I've got that fishing affliction.
Hey, I'm Art Defo, and I've got that fishing affliction.
Hi, I'm Denny Brower, and I've got that fishing affliction.
Hey, I'm Mark Menendez, and I've got that fishing affliction.
I'm Bobby Lane, and I got that fishing affliction. Hi, I'm Chris Lane, and I got that fishing affliction.
I'm Shaw Grigsby, and I got that fishing affliction.
Just like me. Here, fishy, fishy, here, fishy, fishy, here.
And they slowed down on the cast, so he said, let's go put a double rig over. That's what we did. And it took about 30 seconds, and this is what came out.
Well, folks, it's time to wet a line because it's Fishin' Affliction time, and welcome into today's episode as we're heating up the slabs, doing some crappie fishing with Doug Markham of the TWRA, having a whole bunch of fun and catching those big slab crappie. Today's Fishin' Affliction product spotlight features the ever-powerful batteries made from Deca. Can't get enough Fishin' Affliction TV? Then be sure to subscribe to our YouTube and Vimeo channels for web-exclusive content. Also, like our ever-popular and growing Facebook page, and at the end of the show, you'll meet the Fishin' Affliction Facebook Friend of the Week. So sit back and enjoy part one as Doug Markham and I are heating up the slabs with some great crappie fishing on Old Hickory Lake, right here on Fishin' Affliction TV. Doug, he's not a slab.
Not a slab.
But you have been told that there are slabs on Old Hickory Lake, and I hope the guy that told you wasn't fibbing.
He better not be, because if he is, I'm going to go on and do something called Doug Outdoors and give him a hard time on his own show. No, this is the baby of the bunch, but I got him out of the way, and something's been eating on him here at the top.
Well, we're on Old Hickory Lake. Mm-hmm. We're up the lake a little ways, out near Flipper's area.
Yep.
And we're fishing some deep water structure.
Yep, just got here. Yep.
Yep, throwing some jigs in deep, and then we're going to vertically jig with that Kentucky rig.
Yep, and I will say, Dan, on Old Hickory, I've heard better reports from fishermen on Old Hickory, I think, than I have in maybe forever. This has been one heck of a year out here, and here I am with you, because you're one of them that's been giving me reports.
I was going to say, if there's one person guilty of you giving us those reports, it's been me. We were talking about bass fishing. I'll let you put that one back in.
Okay, we're tossing back.
Yeah.
He's not 10.
You were talking about bass fishing, how much bass fishing I've done this year, which I love to do, but, always talking about keeping other stuff in the boat to do other fishing. It's helped me find these crappie actually while I was bass fishing.
Yeah, you've gotten very good with your electronics, and you have found a lot of stuff, and you can see fish all over these, and I think we're going to catch a bunch today. But I tell you what, for the folks that are just getting electronics, it's very beneficial to you if you get like Dan has, and he's getting good, and y'all can too. It's not rocket science, is it, Dan?
No, they don't, in the famous words of Sam Lashley, they don't call it a fish finder for nothing.
That's right. The rocket science was already done. It's in that box. You just got to figure it out. Yeah.
Let's go catch a few.
Let's do it.
All right. Little turbo crappie, Doug.
A little bit better.
That nice?
A little bit better. Very, very light bite today, Dan. I mean, early. It's early. We're just getting started. Light bite, light jig, dropping it down and just slow reeling it. I'm talking about very slow. We're not going to keep him either. He's right. He might be 10.
He's right at the size. Those are the good ones to throw back, especially if there's bigger ones too.
We do. A couple years ago, my friend Rick Smithers and I started, so we sort of started our own little 10.5-inch rule, at least 10.5 or throw them back.
Yeah, that's a great rule.
Yeah,
because you know that's going to be a good fish next year.
Yeah, and even then we throw a bunch of them back beyond that anyway. There you go.
If he makes it to the freezer this year, he won't be a slab next year, will he?
He will not.
No?
He will not.
That fish was a little bit higher up in the structure?
He's a little bit higher up. I'm letting this thing so light. It's 1/32. I'm giving it about an 8-second drop, and then I'm starting to reel real slow. And he was up a foot or two, but not right on top.
All right. Boy, there were just a lot of fish here in this area too.
A lot of fish.
Yeah, hard to leave when you see them like that. I'm on it.
All right, another little crappie, Dan.
Another little one.
Put me on a spot.
Beautiful fish.
Definitely would be a keeper, I think. He would be close.
He'd be pretty close. Let me grab him. I got him right here, Doug.
Thank you, Dan.
Got you right here. Well, he's a pretty fish, isn't he?
You know what tells me with all these, yeah, he's pretty. With all these fat, with all these fish that people have caught on Old Hickory this year, and we're catching these right now that are right at 10 inches, 9.5, 10. We're not measuring them. It's going to be another good year next year. Just let everybody know that the biologist at TWRA said 2008 and 2010 were bumper crop years on Old Hickory Lake. They look at it every year in the fall, the populations. So what you're seeing this year is probably from 2008 and maybe 10 too, but you got a couple good more years before things get worse.
Oh, well, okay. Maybe somehow they even get better.
I hope they do. I hope so.
You know, that's a great practice, just to keep reiterating, you know, if you're in the crappie are such a delicacy that people want. Everyone that's 10 inches gets put in that refrigerator, but by goodness gracious, if you turn them back.
Yeah, you know, it's not a law that you have to keep them. You know, I probably throw back more crappie than most people because I just like catching them. But I enjoy knowing that I have an opportunity to catch these fish again, and they're going to be a little bit bigger. Everybody's got, as long as you stay within your limits, keep your limits, everything's going to be cool. But you know, some folks, I almost think it's almost like a law. You got to keep them if the size limit.
Yeah, well. It's hard to throw them back when you're not used to catching them like I've been. But I tell you, this year on Old Hickory, that's what's made me consider throwing back. It's just been an unbelievable amount of fish.
And some folks don't get to go all the time. They want to keep fish.
Sure.
So keep fish. Yep.
Well, let's see if we can catch a few. That is a future slab of Fishin' Affliction TV.
I like what I'm seeing. This is great for Old Hickory Lake. This is that's the size you want to see. I mean, you want to see the big ones, of course, but you want to see these coming on. That's probably maybe a 2-year-old fish or so.
Hey, we've just been on the spot for maybe 15 minutes, kind of getting to the feel of everything, getting the groove. So. Yeah.
And you can see a lot of action on your Lawrence. There's a lot of fish in this area, and this is summertime, Dan.
Isn't that something?
Official summer. Crappie don't quit hitting because it's not spring anymore.
It's not crappie season anymore, Doug. It's not crappie season anymore. Just think if it was.
Yeah.
Well, folks, Doug, Markham, and I are having a whole bunch of fun catching future slabs there on Old Hickory Lake. And in a moment, we'll be right back there in the wilds of Old Hickory Lake with some more fishing action. But speaking of in the wilds, let's go see some pictures from this week's
In the Wild. Your pictures in the wild.
Folks, here's a good old Cheatham Lake largemouth caught by Mr. Albert Vieira, who did a little something to the picture to make it look extra cool. And this is Jesse with a monster Pele catfish that he had a whole bunch of fun catching. And speaking of a whole bunch of fun, this is one of our young South Florida Team Fishin' Affliction members with a peacock bass. Folks, you can post your pictures there on our ever-popular Facebook page, seen by thousands of fans of Fishin' Affliction every day. And maybe you'll see that picture right here on the big screen.
In the wild. Your pictures in the wild.
You're the rookie. This is your moment.
Market 15 pounds, 10 ounces, steel champions this year, Kentucky Lake Strike King.
When you tie on a bait by Strike King.
Hey man, we got your back.
You're standing on the shoulders of legends.
Smyrna Ready Mix is an established company that handles business daily with integrity and professionalism. Whether you're a general contractor, professional builder, or a do-it-yourself homeowner, SRM has your concrete solutions. With several convenient locations in the Middle Tennessee area to serve you, The only call you need to make is to SRM, ready to serve you with integrity and professionalism.
Fishin' Affliction's Facebook page. Like it.
That is a future slab of Fishin' Affliction TV.
I like what I'm seeing. This is great for Old Hickory Lake. That's the size you want to see. I mean, you want to see the big ones, of course, but you want to see these coming on. That's probably maybe a 2-year-old fish or so.
And we've just been on the spot for maybe 15 minutes, kind of getting to the feel of everything, getting the groove. So.
Yeah. And you can see a lot of action on your Lawrence. There's a lot of fish in this area. And this is summertime, Dan.
Isn't that something?
Official summer. Crappie don't quit hitting because it's not spring anymore.
It's not crappie season anymore, Doug. It's not crappie season anymore. Just think if it was.
Yeah, boy.
Well, folks, if you haven't guessed by now, Doug and I are fishing during the hot of the summer. The water temperature is in the high 80s, and these crappie are holding off in deep structure that had some bait relating to that structure. And how we're catching these fish is real simple. Get your favorite ultralight high-performance Akuma rod and reel combo, spool that reel with Seaguard's fluorocarbon in that 6 to 8 pound range, get a mustad jig head no bigger than 1/8 of an ounce, and be sure to have those Strike King slab hammers on the end of it. And throughout the course of the day, don't forget to use that line conditioner made by Reel Magic.
Right, there we go. All right, Dan.
Doug, this might be, let's see what we got here. Well, he's gonna be free in a second.
Now that's a nice looking crappie.
How about that, Doug? Uh-oh. Oh.
Yeah,
you got your one? All right, we'll swap out for a second. I got you. Hey, the perils of filming.
It is. I bet I've lost 2 or 3 rods.
The perils.
Putting down that, but that's a good fish, Dan.
Isn't that pretty? Take your time.
About it.
Yeah.
Get this broke off here.
You take your time. No problem.
Yeah, I tell you what, whatever brush it is unforgiving.
Yeah, you know.
We're still rolling?
We're still rolling.
All right, Dan,
Nice
that's
fish.
a good fish right there.
That's a good one. I think this one would be one for the live well. We were just talking about these are the kind. What would you say? That's getting close to that 11-inch range.
Oh, easy.
Yeah,
that's a good fish right there. That's you don't have to have a board on those kind of fish.
Isn't that pretty?
It is.
And you know, this has actually been a little bit smaller for me this year than the average size that I've been catching. Hard to believe. That's what shocked me about catching slab crappie on Old Hickory. I've always used the word slab, Doug, but I didn't really know what slabs were until I saw just so many of these fish, even a little bit bigger than this. I'm gonna put him in the Triton's live wells.
All right.
And then a little bit later, he'll be a fresh fillet. One of my favorite things that Miss Vicki Porter makes, the In the Skillet gal, is one of my new favorite things is a fish taco.
Fish taco.
Oh my gosh. Soft shell taco. Take a little bit of, get your lettuce if you like tomatoes, but then the secret is Thousand Island dressing. Pan fry the crappie in a little bit of olive oil, just make it flaky, put it on the soft tortilla, layer it with a little mayonnaise, the lettuce, and then put a little bit of the Thousand Island dressing. I had 2 of them last night. I could have ate 40 of them.
Starting to hurt me.
Yeah, no, me too. All right, let's get re-gigged.
All right, what you got now?
This one here is a black-nosed crappie, Doug. And we had talked on the phone a little bit. You were asking me if I'd caught any. Hadn't caught a whole bunch. He's a black chin too, isn't he?
He is.
Isn't that beautiful?
That's the indicator, yeah.
These get stocked regularly every year, Doug?
Yeah, when you see a black-nosed crappie in any lake in Tennessee, it's come out of a hatchery.
Okay.
And that's what you're gonna see from now on. And I'll do a Doug Outdoors on that, but it's what TWRA stocks now. It lets them know that the fish are being successful or not. The fishermen know it's been successful, and it's just a black crappie. It's a black crappie with a black mark on it.
And that is a beautiful fish, though.
It is. It's
beautiful.
a gorgeous fish.
Well, we're gonna put that gorgeous one back. We're just working just one spot so far, isn't it, Doug? And we're just kind of now just getting into the groove. Throwing a lot of light stuff. You're throwing a 32nd ounce head.
I am just having fun with it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm throwing a 16th ounce, and we're just getting the feel for everything.
Yeah.
Boy, and we got fish popping everywhere. Let's go catch some more. And he's good. There you go.
Oh, he just got off.
Well, he's on film though.
Did you get him on film?
I did get him. Just a light bite though, isn't it?
Light bite. It is so light, Dan, and it's just sometimes you've got to watch your line. It's more line watching than it is anything.
Is it fun though?
It's fun, yeah. It's just fun. It's what makes crappie fishing probably the funnest to me, is because you don't know one day if they're going to slam it, if they're going to just suck it up and hold it. If they do something different every time you go after a crappie. For me, they do.
And you know, this is not random. We put ourselves in this position on purpose. So
we did, yeah.
So this is really great. All right, let's get him again.
He ain't that big, I don't think, but he might be. No, he's a bluegill.
Is it bluegill?
Yeah.
And you know, that's another thing that gets up in these things.
There's whatever this brush pile is full of fish, and I got a feeling there's some white bass and some yellow bass running in it too.
One of the things that electronics are starting to show us too is giving us the opportunity to have an interpretation of the size of fish that we're after.
Yeah, well, this isn't what we're after, but if they get about 3 times that big, I'll take it. Yeah, and I don't know why they're out here, because people have been catching the heck out of big fish lately on bluegill, so they're not very smart fish, I guess.
Well, get another one.
All right. Oh, play while you did the catch.
Hey,
I'm sorry, Ted.
Hey, whatever happened for needing video footage for a TV show? Not when you got a slab.
Oh, we both hooked into one at the same time, and I wasn't going to wait for that Sony to come on.
Well, folks, Doug, Markham, and I are having a whole bunch of fun heating up the slabs with some great crappie fishing on Old Hickory Lake. And in a moment, we'll be right back with some more fishing action. And on this week's For Hunters Only, it's time to start heating up those deer woods with those Paul Pollock deer scents designed to heat things up when it's rutting time, that you can get there at Poindexter's Outdoors there in Gallatin, Tennessee. All of that when we return, but right now let's head upstairs to the kitchen to see what Miss Vicki's got cooking this week. In the Skillet with Miss Vicki, the most delicious part of Fishin' Affliction TV.
Welcome to In the Skillet. I'm Vicki Porter, and now that it's Halloween weekend, I wanted to do a recipe for you that would be fun and festive. It's my Yummy Mummy meatloaf. And now for the ingredients. You will need 1.5 pounds of ground beef or turkey, 1 egg, 3 tablespoons of minced onion, 1 cup of milk, 1 cup of breadcrumbs, 1/3 cup of ketchup, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of mustard, lasagna noodles, 1 3-ounce mozzarella ball, 1 can of large black olives, and salt and pepper to taste. First, in a bowl, mix together your meat, your milk, the onion, breadcrumbs, egg, and salt and pepper. Mix this with your hands and shape the mixture into a round dome and place it on a greased baking dish. Next, mix together your mustard, brown sugar, and ketchup. Now spread the ketchup mixture over the top of the meatloaf. Bake this in the oven at 350 for about an hour. While your meatloaf is cooking, now cook your pasta. Now that your yummy meatloaf is finished cooking, it's time to dress it up and make it a Yummy Mummy meatloaf. First, add the eyes with the cheese and the olives. Now take your lasagna noodle that you've trimmed into halves and wrap it up like a mummy. This meatloaf is delicious, and I promise it won't scare your dinner guest. You can find this recipe at fishandaffliction.com. I'm Vicki Porter. Tune in next week to see what's cooking in the Skillet.
S11 sunglasses makes it like the water is not even there.
Well, the youngsters got one more day to have the woods to themselves. The youth hunt's going to end tomorrow on Sunday. And then the kids, they still get to go hunting. They just don't have it all by themselves. Look, in a few days, the muzzleloader season is going to open all across the state. And again, you can look on page 25 of the hunting guide to get the big game seasons in Tennessee. November 8th through the 21st. It's going to be about muzzleload hunting in Tennessee. Very popular as it's gone through the years. All through the years of the muzzleloader season, it's gotten more and more popular. The guns have gotten better. And Folks just have a great time during the muzzleloader season. Still not as big as a conventional gun season across the state, but there will be thousands of you getting outside, taking the first shot, the first adult shots with a firearm across the state at deer in Tennessee. It's a great season. Get out, have a good time. Check out all the guides for all the information you need. And remember, there are units across the state with different bag limits in it, but in Middle Tennessee, it's a great liberal season. I'll see you next week right here on Fishin' Affliction.
On today's Fishin' Affliction product spotlight, we're going to talk about the ever-powerful DECA batteries. DECA has a battery for every application that you need. For your boats, your cars, your trucks, even your lawnmowers, they have a battery for everything that you need to power up. When we shoot an episode of Fishin' Affliction television, we are on the water from sunup to sundown, and every second of the day, we are getting that power from our powerful DECA gel batteries. Head on down to your favorite DECA dealer and get yourself a new battery and keep yourself powered by the powerful DECA gel batteries. And now, back to Fishin' Affliction.
Fishin' Affliction's YouTube channel. Watch it.
Welcome back to Fishin' Affliction TV, and this segment of the show is brought to you by Ranger Boats, Mercury Outboards, DECA Batteries, Akuma High Performance Fishing Gear, Seagar Fishing Line, Mustad Hooks, Onyx Life Jackets and Rainwear, Fraybill, Real Magic, Rugged Marine Electronic Mounts by Ram Mounts, Wigwam Socks, BBG Marine, and Tournament Wear.
For hunters only, brought to you by Poindexter's Outdoors in Gallatin, Tennessee, serving the sportsman since 1965, and PaulPollocksDeerLures.com, producing the greatest selection of all natural buck and doe deer lures on today's market.
Doing a little scouting here. We got some does right here, and it's that time of the year to start thinking about those Paul Pollock deer lures that have those sexual attractors in there. And the first one is buck muskin urine. Now, buck muskin urine is great during the pre-rut, rut, and post-rut, and it has some of that tarsal gland from a buck deer in there. And tarsal is a territorial marker. It's a zero tolerance indicator that says to the other bucks, hey, stay out of my place. This is my core area. And of course, as the rut gets here, you can be using that Paul Pollock Flaming Seduction. Use it as a drag rag, bring it into your stand area, put it in your shooting lane. These two particular sexual attracting lures from Paul Pollock, they are absolutely some of the finest deer lures that you can use. And remember, always be using your October cover mist because it covers your scent, which is the biggest enemy when you're in the woods. So don't forget to head on down to Poindexter's Outdoors, do a little scouting, and go get some of those Paul Pollock deer lures and get them working for you.
Oh, play while you did the camera. I'm sorry, Dan.
Hey, whatever happened for needing video footage for a TV show? Not when you got a slab.
We both hooked into one at the same time, and I wasn't going to wait for that Sony to come on. Hey, listen, guys.
Oh, my gosh.
You know why I'm going to brag on Fishin' Affliction? Because it's so good, because your hosts are so good. Look, we were catching fish off of this brush pile that Dan's found with his electronics, and they slowed down on the cast, so he said, let's go put a double rig over them. That's what we did, and it took about 30 seconds, and this is what came out. And he's got one on his rod that I haven't taped.
Actually, I let him go back so we could go back and get some video footage, though. Is that a slab-ola right there?
That's what they've been catching out here. That's what Dan's been catching out here on Old Hickory.
It's crazy. It's just crazy. I'll tell you what, that's a great Facebook picture too, Doug. Let's do that. We'll put them on Fishin' Affliction Facebook. Let me get my camera. That's awesome.
Sprayed much, and that was good.
One slab right there.
Was a slab, yeah.
No, mine's.
Oh, you're gone.
Yeah, we'll go back and get mine.
Okay, all right.
Hey, yours would have won the size contest anyway. That was a dandy.
That was a good one.
Let's go back up there and we'll try it again.
Okay.
Doug, we were talking just a minute ago before we moved. This is our third spot now to fish. Our first spot, we got into them good. Second spot, we didn't get anything. And I made mention that, you know, in my experience here lately is that you don't have to beg for a bite. You either get on the spot and you get fish immediately, or you don't. And that's just about pretty immediate because we just started on this spot, not just a minute or so. He's not a keeper, but sure is a lot of stuff. And one of the things too, folks, whenever you're fishing this structure, don't discredit the fact that these units, although they're great, there's nothing like actually getting in that structure and fishing, feeling what it is that you're fishing. A lot of times these things don't show you every fish that's there. They could be behind something. Just the angle that you go over your structure is very important in interpreting what's actually in that structure. But I find that there's no better way to find out what's really down there and what's in it than taking one of these Strike King baits and throwing it around there and see what you can catch. Hopefully that fish is granddaddy's. There, that's a nice one. Well, no begging for a bite. How about that, Doug?
It's 2 pretty quick off of that. That's a pretty nice fish right there.
Isn't that nice?
Yes, it is. The wind got up a little bit, Dan, and that wind stepped up to about a 16th from a 32nd. And anytime you can go more heavy, I like it. I like that light stuff, but heavy's kind of cool.
And we're doing an approach here too of casting before we get over them vertically.
Yep.
You know, supposedly there's this whole spooking of the fish when you get over them. I don't experience that near as much that I find out, but
no,
some
crappie.
people.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe it'll clear water, but I know we've done it a lot of times on Kentucky Lake too. We're doing it here today.
Nice fish, Doug.
Doesn't seem to be hurting them. All right, keeper.
Yeah, I believe so. That looks good.
Where's your board?
My board is right there, Doug. There's the freight bill.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, freight bill easy checker.
I'm gonna say 11. At least 10.5. Are you hung?
I'm saying 11.
I think it'll go 11 too.
The bottom of the tape is 10.
The bottom of the tape is 10?
The bottom of the tape is 10. He's a flying crappie. It's a new species.
You're all hung up too, aren't you?
Well, it's all right, though.
Come out here. These freight bills are good to keep you legal.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. He'd be 12.
Probably 12.
Yeah, he's 12-inch fish.
He's in the live well, right?
Right there. It's a good one.
That's a good one.
All right.
It's all right. You go?
Yes, I got you, Doug. I got you. He's a little, he's a good one to throw back, you know?
He is, but he was a traditional good old crappie.
I tell you what, you've got the stroke down today too, buddy.
I've been watching you, Dan.
No, I don't know.
Watch what you do.
Hey, that's neat though, huh?
Yeah.
And just think, if it was crappie season, Doug. Geez, if it was crappie season.
If we'd already, the show would already be down. We'd be way over. Yeah, it's not crappie season. It's summertime. They don't bite.
Beautiful. It's beautiful fish. As we sit here today, it's we're getting into the latter parts of June.
Yep.
And the weather's great. But last week when I came out here, which was only maybe 4 days ago, caught some fish, took them home, filleted them, and they still had eggs.
They still had eggs.
Still had eggs.
You know, I was seeing that on Percy Preach too up till a couple of weeks ago, that they still had eggs. Don't know what that means for the future, whether TWRA is going to have to put more fish out there in the water if they had a bad year, but enjoy the present right now.
Well, folks, Affliction Pro Staffer and the TWRA's Doug Markham and I are having a whole bunch of fun as we're turning up the heat on those Old Hickory Slabs, having a whole bunch of fun doing some crappie fishing. And make sure you join us next week for part 2 of this fun fishing episode as Doug shares a whole bunch of information like only Doug can. So be sure to tune in to Fishin' Affliction next week and you'll see.
Old Hickory next spring during crappie season is going to be fabulous. So when crappie season rolls around again.
Yeah, I know it.
This week's Team Fishin' Affliction featured Facebook friend is
Frederick Fuquay.
And thanks for being our Facebook friend. For your chance to join in the fun and become an official Team Fishin' Affliction featured Facebook friend, simply like us on Facebook. And be sure to write a comment on our wall. As always, a big thank you to all of our national and local sponsors for providing us with the most advanced technology and highest quality products and services. Be sure to visit each of our partners online through the sponsor links page on our official website at FishinAffliction.com. And this is your old pal Matthew Gillen, the voice of Fishin' Affliction TV, hoping that you'll tune in next week, because there's no doubt that Dan and the big dog got it bad. They've got Fishin' Affliction for those who got it bad.
During the rut and post-rut, and of course flaming, as it has some tarsal in there, and that tarsal gland from a buck deer is that territorial. Folks, during the pre-rut, rut, and post-rut, buck muskin urine is the optimum. Tell me when you're ready.
Ready.
Doing a little scouting here pre-rut. You know, it's that sexual urge time for these largemouths.